This weekend, we were indeed fortunate enough to have seen some very, very big matches in the FA Cup. And I managed to watch some highlights of some other games. There were some big upsets, alright? Crawley Town doing what they did against Leeds was huge. An ex-Spurs player doing the job there, been through a lot of stuff and coming through the other side and actually, you know, showing his worth. And maybe Spurs shouldn't have been so quick to axe the guy when he was a kid. But on the Spurs side, I mean, you know, the job got done. Maybe not the way I wanted it to get done, but it got done. Hey, NarendraTheComic here right now. I'm just going to be talking about very quickly the Spurs game in the FA Cup today. And, you know, as I said, it was not something I was particularly enthralled with in some ways. In other ways, it was great. You know, it's the magic of the FA Cup, seeing a lower league team come up all the way to fight one of the big boys in the Premier League and one of the biggest clubs in Europe. At the same time, it's odd seeing the gulf in quality between these teams, and it's one of the few times in my life, probably the only time in my life, where I haven't been fully committed to supporting Spurs all the way. You know me, I wear Spurs on my sleeve. I mean, I don't have any tats, but you know what I mean. Figuratively, the heart is on my sleeve with Spurs. But today, I honestly felt at points being like, can Spurs just actually not play well just for a minute here? And can they actually can they maybe let a goal in? Not out of pity, just for the beauty of football, just for a minute, for it to happen and this type of shock upset to occur. And I'm glad Spurs are through, but I am a bit annoyed at the way they did it. You know, 5-0 is just a bit excessive. I think it was a bit much, and I'm not one to say that in almost any case. When it comes to professional sports, you play professionally. The guys put in a performance. They won 3-0. Well, Vinicius scored 3 on his own and won 3-0. We won 5-0. And as I said, I think it was a bit too much, because when you're playing against another Premier League side, when you're playing against a championship side, even in Europe, Europa League, Champions League, you can't take the risk of letting up. Sometimes you hold back when you're 1-0 or 2-0 up, as Jose does. But like against United, we won 6-1. We weren't going to stop at 3-0 or 3-1 at the time, because it's just too risky. If we can go and get the goals, we're going to go get the goals. We're going to go and smash someone. Against Southampton, winning 5-2, we could have won, you know, probably 8-4 in that game. And I'm fine with those results, because those are teams at super high levels, professional levels, doing their utmost to, like, show someone up. And I have no problem with that. But in this case, these guys are semi-professional. I don't know if you're even semi-professional if you're in the 8th league. They're trying their most to try and get to a place. And maybe some of these guys in this team and in those leagues will go up the league system and might play professional football in League 2, League 1, even in the Premier League one day. Jamie Vardy's done it. I think it's a great thing to see some people come up through the ranks, through the system, through the tier system in the UK and England, essentially, and make it all the way to the top. And in the case of Jamie Vardy, actually win the Premier League from playing in the conference. That's something which I'm not sure we'll see again, but I really, really hope we do. And in this case, I think it may have just been a case of being a bit too heavy-handed. And it wasn't that Spurs played particularly well, to be honest. I think we were the worst side for about the first 25 minutes. We had not much going on. There wasn't much happening. And they had a bunch of chances. One of them was an absolute crackerjacker, and it could have gone in. Joe Hart messed up with his perception, I guess, as to where he was in relation to the goal. And it could have been 1-0 down at 20 minutes. And, you know, we weren't the best team for the first 20-25 minutes, but then we got the goal. I think Dele Alli had a very good game. Obviously, we're playing against super, super low opposition, so the class is going to show, and it would have been pretty disappointing if we had lost. At the same time, it's one of those where I wouldn't have hated it if we'd lost. I would have hated it in terms of the performance and from Spurs' point of view, but I wouldn't have hated it for football. I'm glad there were some upsets. That's what the FA Cup is for, after all. That's what it's for, and I think it really, really adds a lot to the way everyone perceives English football. The fact that, you know, Crawley can beat Leeds 3-0, like a League 2 side beating a Premier League side, a good Premier League side who plays very good football, 3-0, is just shocking. So yeah, the draw's tomorrow, but there's something else I want to quickly talk about here, and that is this idea of where we are with the lockdowns in relation to football. Because I'm not saying we should have a lockdown with football, because football gives people an outlet. It lets people enjoy themselves for 2 hours on that particular day if their team is playing. Even if they're not, they might have nothing to do for an hour and a half and pop on a game. And I think that's a good thing, especially with the way our country is right now in the UK and England, but even really the whole world. But the fact they've been able to continue playing is fine. But now that the cases are ramping up, and last week there were 40 cases, the week before there were 20 cases in prominent clubs, and the week before that there were 10, it's sort of doubling every week. My qualm is that now they've just had all these FA Cup ties and there are lower league sides playing against, you know, Premier League sides, Championship sides. I think we're in this position now where, yes, these tests might come back negative, but the tests are not 100% accurate, and maybe one person got through and there could be a club which might have cases in the next couple of days or couple of weeks because of this round of ties right now. And they're very good with testing. They do their most at these types of fixtures and events. But, you know, I think if the figures go up more and they double next week and it's to like 70 or 80 by the time the next round of fixtures are coming up, I think there has to be something done, because I don't think it's fair also on the teams overall. Mourinho said it. We can't have another match postponed potentially from Spurs' point of view. There are a lot of teams out there. Man City, I think, are two game weeks behind the total overall masses of clubs in the Premier League. I think there's just too many games that are going to be played in such a small amount of time that either there has to be a general lockdown for 2-3 weeks. I said it in January, right at the beginning. I said it at the end of December. A better choice than postponing specific games would be just to say, we're locked down for 2 weeks and we'll see where it goes. And I think, honestly, the way the results are coming out in terms of cases of the virus, I think maybe it's necessary to say, let's take a pause. Not like a giant break for 6 months or 5 months like it was last season, but maybe just 2-3 weeks. And I think a lot of coaches are calling for it. I saw Sam Allardyce call for it. He might have ulterior motives. A lot of other coaches might have as well, to say continue or stop. But I think the main thing is the health and well-being of the whole club, all these people, and the idea of spreading the virus any further than it is. And we have a really bad case in the UK right now, another strain, all that type of stuff. I think let's take a bit of a breather here, a couple of weeks, and maybe it might improve in terms of the rate of infection and that type of stuff. And I think that would be better for everyone. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, Jose Mourinho himself is gonna come after you. You don't want that. He'll slap down a bloody 8th tier side with no regret and no remorse. So what's he gonna do to you? You don't want to know. So just subscribe anyway to avoid that. I've been NarendraTheComic. You've been great, and I'll see you next time. That's tomorrow. If you don't know, make a video every single day. You've been doing it every day for over 2 years now. We ain't stopping till we get to 10,000 subscribers. So do subscribe. Pop back again tomorrow for some more quality shitty content, because we're hashtag never not here. Just how it goes. We also bring the bakwas, and bakwas means nonsense in Punjabi. Some people knew that, some people didn't, but you learned something today if you didn't know that. So see you tomorrow. More bakwas, more nonsense then, because it's just what we do. See you tomorrow. Skadoosh.